Hello, and today's insight is mainly going to be about avoiding misunderstandings. So, today what happened to me was that I was a in my taxi cab, which acts like like an Uber shared ride. So we pick up multiple people and we drop them off. And I was um, I was in a taxi cab whose chauffeur was Muslim. Now, I have nothing against Muslim drivers, nothing against Muslim individuals. I've worked with Muslims, I went to school with Muslims. I have no problem. Now, it gets touchy when you want to ask a question, right? When there's an idea in your mind and then you want the answer to. And so you need to be able to maneuver these things. And so now, in regard, and why am I talking about this? This is in regard to avoid trauma, not to stop you from learning about a different culture, about different aspects, because sometimes people can be very touchy-feely, so you need to be able to communicate your wants and your needs in a manner that will allow anybody from any culture to want to talk to you. Now, the best way that I found in this regard is to ask a question, not to come at it with a preconceived notion that you have pre-orchestrated in your mind and that you are 100% certain of and that you are going to impose on someone else. That is one of the best ways to push someone away. And it is the best way to have the other person be on the defensive and not want to actually talk to you, but actually want to prove their point and prove that their way of thinking is right. So there was nothing wrong. So I asked the question and I was like, listen, I've seen so and so and I've noticed that they haven't put their hijab on the right way, their head covering, and it seemed like they were not really covering their neck. Is that very problematic? Is that something that they should avoid completely, or is that something that is okay? And he answered quite quite coolly and very, very politely, and he tried to actually explain a bit more about their mentality, which made me think of the fact that even Christians, okay, when you go to church, you have to have your head covered. You have to. I mean, in my church, that's definitely the case. Not so much Protestant churches, but ones where I went to, especially if you go up to the altar, you need to have your head covered. That's just the way it is, right? There's nothing sexist about it. It's just a old way of thinking, and it has its mentality behind it, and there's like a logic behind it as well. So it's just a matter of understanding different cultures, different perspectives, and when you can put yourself in other people's shoes and understand where they're coming from, it helps you better explain yourself, better understand the world around you, and better avoid trauma on multiple levels, right? So you can have like communication trauma, which it's not really a thing, but you can have like cultural trauma, which can lead to miscommunication, which can lead to an actual physical trauma, which could lead to even more problems arising later down the road. So is there something that you are having, some specific group of individuals you are having difficulty communicating clearly and concisely with, which could lead to actual trauma? Ponder that.